Good evening and welcome to today's game between the Northern Potter Lady Panthers and the Port Allegany Lady Gators. We're going to hand it over to the PA announcer for the starting lineup announcements.
Sports officials to enforce the sportsmanship rules for coaches and contestants. Actions meant to demean opposing contestants, spectators, and officials are not in the highest ideals of interscholastic education and will not be tolerated. Let today's contest reflect mutual respect. Good luck in today's contest. Now announcing the starting lineup for Port Allegany. Number 8, short.
All right, correction. There's some technical issues, so they're not going to announce the lineups. So we'll announce it. So starting on the mound today for Northern Potter will be Jalen Willamy. Behind the plate will be Lily Steele. At first base will be White. Jacoby will be at second base. Risser will be at shortstop. And Prince will be at third base. And the outfield will have Knowles in left, Kibbe in center, and Hyde in right. Leading off for the Lady Gators will be left fielder Sienna Lathrop, followed by pitcher Bria Wilcox. Elena McCurvey batting third in right field. Gianna Glasgow at shortstop batting cleanup. Bryn Evans, the third baseman, will be batting fifth. Maddie Eric, the catcher, will be batting sixth. Emily Eric, the center fielder, will be batting seventh. Alyssa Tanner will be DHing tonight. And batting ninth will be first baseman Peyton Gordon. Tanner is DHing for the second baseman Lily O'Rourke. These two teams just played a week or so ago, with Northern Potter going ahead in the top of the seventh to take a 4-3 victory. And they remain tied for first in the Northern Allegany League, with Otto Eldred having split with each other, as we're in the final week of the regular season here. And Lathrop will dig in to lead it off for the Lady Gators. And a swing and a miss for strike one. Ball one high. And swing and a miss there for strike two. Looking back, Willamy did not start the first game between these two teams. Hyde started. Willamy came in the fourth inning and struck out 12 of 13 batters she faced. And Lathrop pops that one up behind first. That's going to drop foul off the concession stand roof. So Lathrop will head back with a 1-2 count. And ball two high. And strike three called on the outside corner. So Lathrop will head back as pitcher Bria Wilcox will be up with one out for the Lady Gator. Wilcox squares the bunt. That pitch is going to be inside. Ball one. Wilcox squares again. She does offer that one, but it's going to be strike one. And strike two called. And ball two, just a bit inside. 2-2 count here on Wilcox. And strike three called on the outside corner. So 2 outs here for the Lady Gators, and Elena McCurvey will be in the box. Swing and a miss there for strike one. Swing and a miss for strike two. And Kirby takes low for ball one. Foul tip is caught by Lily Steele for out number 3. So Willoughby strikes out the side in the top of the first, and we'll head to the bottom of the first. The Lady Gators tied 0-0. We'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, so here we go. Bottom of the first with Lily Steele leading off for the Lady Panthers. And strike one called on the outside corner. Ball one. Wilcox tried to get that outside corner again, but it was a bit outside. And Steele grounds that one to second, and she's going to beat it out before Roque even gets to the ball. So an infield single for Lily Steele. And the Lady Panthers have the leadoff runner on. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Risser. Risser had a huge game the first time against the Lady Gators. Ball one outside. Steele gets a big jump at first, but not going anywhere. Strike one called. Mercer squares the bunt. That's going to be foul, however. So we're going to have a 1-2 count here. And swing and a miss for out number one. That'll bring up the pitcher, Willoughby. First pitch is high and outside. We're located right here on Route 49 in Harrison Valley, so lots of truck traffic behind us as Willoughby takes a strike. And delayed steal there by Steele, and she's going to be safe at second. Steele caught the Gators napping there. So a 1-1 count here on Willoughby with a runner in scoring position for the Lady Panthers. Ball two is high. And Willoughby grounds that one foul. 2-2 count now. And Willoughby grounds that one to short. Steele with a nice play running in front of the ball. Glasgow lost focus. And Steele's going to score on the play, and Willoughby will be safe at first on the error. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Hyde. Hyde was a starting pitcher the last time these two teams played. And she's going to take ball one as Maddie Erick snaps it down to first, but Willoughby gets back. Ball two bounces. Erick is able to scoop it and throws down, and she nails Willoughby at second. Willoughby with a late jump. She saw that she should get by on the ball in the dirt, but nice throw by Maddie Erick to get the second out of the inning. Ball three called. 3-0 count here on Hyde. And ball four is high, so Hyde's going to take first with 2 outs. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Kibbe. Kibbe takes strike one. Big lead there from Hyde as Maddie Erick throws it down to second and Hyde retreats. Ball one is outside. Again, Hyde with a big lead, but she heads back to first. And Kibbe lines that one off the third base dugout, and Peyton Gordon catches it on the ricochet, but unfortunately it was already out of play. But that foul ball does make it a 1-2 count. Ball 2, Hyde with another big lead, and she'll walk back to first as Maddie Eric stares her down. Eric set up outside there, and the pitch was a bit too far outside, so a full count here on Kibbe. Hyde will be running on the pitch with 2 outs. And that pitch is called strike 3 on the inside corner. So Wilcox limits the Lady Panthers to 1 run as we head to the top of the second with the Gators trailing 1-0. We'll be back in 60 seconds. So Wilhelmie's ready to go here, but we've got a timeout as we've got some fans walking across the field. Looks like they're going to potentially get the scoreboard operating here. But the umpire will step in, and Glasgow will lead it off for the Lady Gators. And swing and a miss for strike 1. Swing and a miss there, so an 0-2 count on Gianna. And swing and a miss again for strike 3. And that'll bring up Bryn Evans, third baseman. Evans takes strike 1. And Evans fooled by that pitch. That makes the count 0-2. Ball 1 high. And strike 3 on Evans. So Wilhelmie with 5 straight strikeouts here to start the game, and Maddie Eric will be up Swing and a miss for Eric. And Willoughby's changeup is a bit low. 1-1 count. And another pitch low. 2-1 count on Matty Eric. Strike 2 called. So 2-2 count here with 2 outs in the top of the second. And that pitch hits Matty Eric in the shin. She's going to jog down to first, and the Gators have their first base runner of the day. And that'll bring up her sister, Emily Eric, who's in center field today. Eric squares the bunt. She's going to miss that high pitch. And Steele's throw is in time as they'll tag Matty Eric out for the third out of the game. So we'll head to the bottom of the second with the Gators trailing 1-0. We'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, so Wilcox readies as Zoe White's going to be up for the Lady Panthers. White's at first base today. White fouls the first pitch off across the road for strike 1. And that ball goes in the same spot. Almost hit Savannah, who was chasing down the first foul ball. So quick 0-2 count here on White. And Wilcox tries to go low there, but it's a bit too low. A 1-2 count. And ball 2 is also low. And another foul ball to the exact same spot. Just missed a car going by. This count remains 2-2. And a swing and a miss for 3. The ball gets past Eric, but she's able to pick it up off the backstop and fire it to Gordon for the first out. Keeping an eye on Maddie Eric here. She got hit by a pitch last inning and then had to slide into second. Seems to be favoring her left leg a little bit. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Jacoby, for the Lady Panthers. First pitch is high. And ball 2. And ball 3 as Wilcox looks to find it here with 1 out in the bottom of the second. And a swing and a miss on the 3-0 count. And ball 4 is high. So Jacoby will head to first, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Riley Knowles. That pitch is high as Jacoby's running, and Maddie Eric's going to gun her out by 5 feet. Glasgow with a tag, and that'll be the second out of the inning. And ball 2 bounces in. So 2-0 count here on Knowles. And a swing and a miss there for strike 1. And another swing and a miss. 2-2 count. That pitch gets away from Wilcox, so full count now with 2 outs. And ball 4. So the Lady Panthers have another base runner on here with 2 outs. And we got a timeout here as Coach Wilcox is going to go out to talk to the team. third baseman Prince will be coming up for the Lady Panthers when we return to action. As we still have a 1-0 game here in the top of the third. I'm sorry, bottom of the second. Swing and a miss for strike one. Big lead from Knowles there. Matt Eric again stares her down as she returns to first. That ball bounces in. Eric knocks it down, but Knowles had a good jump, and she's going to be safe at second on the wild pitch. So both teams are very aggressive on the base passes today. Base paths. What I said there. And that pitch is fouled back for strike two. 1-2 count. And a swing and a miss for strike three, and Eric's going to tag her for the third out. So, Lady Gators hold the Panthers without any runs that inning, and we'll have a 1-0 game as we head to the top of the third. We'll be back in 60 seconds. So Emily Eric digs in here to lead off the top of the third for the Lady Gators. She squares the bunt again and pulls back for ball one. She squares again and gets that one down, but it's foul. So 1-1 count here on Emily Eric. Eric squares again, gets that one down. It's going to be fair. Steele throws it over the first baseman's head. The umpire is going to call Eric out for being out of the baseline. Coach Barnett is not happy with that call. And that'll be the first out as Alyssa Tanner heads to the batter's box. Strike one called. So 3-1 count here on Tanner. Swing and a miss, so full count. And ball 4. So Tanner draws a 1-out walk. And that'll bring up Peyton Gordon. Strike one called. Gordon squares the bunt. She lays that down the third base line. Prince fields that and throws it into right field. Tanner heads to third, and she's going to be thrown out as the right fielder was backing the play up. And that's going to be 2 outs as Gordon will end up on second. When Sienna Lathrop, the leadoff hitter, will be up. And Lathrop bunts that. And Prince comes in from third and catches it in the air for the 3rd out. So the Lady Gators have a lot of action on the base paths there, but are unable to score. And we'll head to the bottom of the 3rd with a 1-0 game. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Got the video if you want to watch it, Doug. So back to the top of the lineup here for the Lady Panthers. as Steele will dig in. Steele singled in the first inning. And she grounds that one to second. O'Rourke will field it and flip it over to Gordon for the first out. That'll bring up Risser. Risser struck out swinging in her first plate appearance. She squares the bunt and called strike one. Ball one is outside. Again, Risser squares the bunt. She gets that one down. Wilcox is going to field it, and Risser's going to beat it out for an infield single. And that'll bring up Wilhelmy. Wilhelmy reached on an error in the first inning. And she takes strike one. Strike two called. Risser with a big lead. She takes another step. Daring Eric to throw the ball down. Eric's just going to walk the ball back to the pitcher. 0-2 count here. And we've got a timeout as first base has come off its hinges. That ball bounces in. Again, a big jump there from Risser, but she's going to head back. So 1-2 count. And ball two is a bit wide. And Wilhelmy grounds that one to Evans. Nobody covers second, so Evans goes to first to get the out. And that'll put a runner in scoring position for the Lady Panthers with Hyde coming up. Hyde walked her first plate appearance. She comes up now with 2 outs. Ball one is outside. Strike one called. Risser with another big lead at second as she walks back. Ball two high. 2-1 count with 2 outs. And ball 3 is also high. And ball 4 bounces in. So Hyde's going to take first. That'll put runners on first and second for the Lady Panthers. And it'll bring up Kibbe. Center fielder struck out in the first inning. That pitch is outside for ball 1. Everybody's waving at Bugs here tonight. The fielders, the fans, probably the water trucks that are driving by. That pitch is grounded to second. O'Rourke stabs it, flips it over to Glasgow, but Hyde slid in. So the bases are now loaded on the fielder's choice. And that'll bring up White. White struck out her last plate appearance. And takes ball 1 high. Ball 2 high. And that pitch is fouled off the backstop. 2-1 count. And another foul ball, 2-2. So deuce is wild, 2-2 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Lady Panthers clinging to a 1-0 lead as they look to break it open a little bit here. And Wilcox gets a big strikeout to strand the bases loaded. We're going to head to the top of the fourth. The Lady Gators trailing 1-0. So Bria Wilcox ready to lead off here for the Lady Gators, with the Gators trailing 1-0. Wilcox squares but takes a strike. Wilcox with a swing and a miss there for strike 2. And another swing and a miss for strike 3. That'll bring up McCurvey. McCurvey also struck out in the first inning. Swing and a miss for strike 1. So it looks like we've got some activity in the stands here. First baseman says it's her mom involved. Not sure what's going on. But the umpires are going to try to get control here. And as McCurvey waits with a 0-1 count and 1 out here in the top of the 4th. All right, looks like we're ready to return to action here. Once again, 0-1 count on McCurvey. Willoughby gets her sign and looks in. And another swing and a miss. So 0-2 count here. As the winds have shifted here and we can now smell the valley. And swing and a miss for out number 2. So that'll bring up Glasgow. She struck out her first plate appearance. We'll check Willoughby's stats here between innings. And ball 1 is high. And strike 1 there on the swing and a miss. I think it's safe to say the Lady Gators are having trouble catching up to the speed of Willoughby here after the last couple of games with slow pitching. So they need to find a way to make an adjustment here and get some base runners on. That pitch is high. 2-1 count to Glasgow. And a swing and a miss there. 2-2 count. And ball 3 outside, full count. And Glasgow takes a pitch inside for ball 4. So the Gators have another base runner on, and that'll bring up Bryn Evans, who also struck out her last plate appearance. Evans takes inside. Gianna gets a big jump at first, but no throw, and she'll walk back. Prince is ready to charge at third here, but Evans is going to take ball 2. Again, Glasgow this time draws the throw down to first, but she's back safely. 2-0 count on Evans. Evans with a swing and the miss there. Glasgow again with a big jump off first, but she slides back in safe. Evans with another swing and a miss. So 2-2 count here on Evans with 2 outs. And strike 3 right down the middle. So Lady Gators leave another runner on base. And we're going to head to the bottom of the 4th with a 1-0 lead still for the Lady Panthers. We'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, so Jacoby will be leading it up here for the Lady Panthers. She walked her last appearance. And takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Ball 1 is just a bit outside. And ball 2. Swing and a miss there. So 2-2 count on Jacoby. And ball 3 inside, full count. And ball 4 is outside. So Jacoby draws a leadoff walk. That'll bring up Knowles, who walked her last plate appearance. She squares the bunt and pops it foul. Again, she squares the bunt. That one's going to be fielded by Wilcox, who'll take the out at first. Gordon runs the ball back into the pitcher. And so 1 out here for the Lady Gators. And Jacoby will be at second with Prince coming up. Prince struck out. And she fouls that one straight back. Swing and a miss there for strike 2. And ball 1 is a bit outside. Ball 2 is high. And swing and a miss there for the second out. And that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Steele. With 2 outs. Steele is 1 for 2 today. Both times going to second base. That pitch is a bit outside for ball 1. And ball 2 is high. Jacoby with a big lead at second, but she'll jog back. And Steele pops that one up. Peyton Gordon's going to call it and squeeze it for out number 3. So through 4, the ball game remains 1-0. We'll check some stats here. For the Lady Gators, Bria Wilcox has 6 strikeouts and 5 walks. She's given up 2 hits and, of course, the 1 run, which was unearned. For Northern Potter, Willoughby has faced 14 batters through 4 innings. She's struck out 8 and walked 2. Has given up no hits so far today. And did hit a batter as well. So Lady Gators coming up here in the top of the 5th, looking for their first hit of the day. And looks like Maddie Erick's going to lead off for the Lady Gators. Maddie was hit by a pitch, as I mentioned, her last plate appearance. As Coach Barnett's taking the change of inning to discuss something with the umpires. So while we're waiting for people to get ready, we'll be back in 30 seconds. All right, we're back with Maddie Eric leading off. Eric squares the bunt, and she lays that one down foul down the first base line. So she'll limp back into the box. And hopefully she gets on base and we can get a courtesy runner in for her. She takes that pitch on the inside corner for strike 2. And Eric grounds that one to second. That goes right between the legs of the second baseman, and Eric's going to be safe on the error. So Jacoby misplays that, and the Gators have a leadoff runner on. We're going to get a courtesy runner here for Maddie Eric, as I predicted. And that's going to be Joanna DeRouche. So DeRouche heads to first. And Emily Eric will be up for the Lady Gators. If history tells us anything, I'd be expecting Emily to bunt here. As Coach Barnett yells out the signs and DeRouche gets ready at first. Willemy's still waiting for the umpire to prepare himself. He says we're ready to go, and Eric digs in. Eric squares the bunt. She gets that down right back to Willemy. Willemy's going to take the out at first. Joe rounds second, but is going to head back to the base as White fires it to the shortstop, but there's no play. So Emily Eric with a sacrifice bunt, and the Gators have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. That'll bring up Tanner. Tanner walked her last plate appearance. That pitch is well inside. DeRouche gets a big jump, but heads back to second. Strike 1 called. DeRouche with another big lead. Tanner is swinging a miss there, so 1-2 count. And Tanner makes contact on that ball. That's booted by the shortstop. Tanner's going to be safe. The ball gets past, and DeRouche is going to score. Tanner's going to stay at first as White fires it to third. And the ball is in left field, but Tanner's still at first base. And that'll bring up Peyton Gordon. But the Lady Gators have tied the score here in the top of the 5th. And Gordon pops that one foul on the first pitch. So we now have a 1-1 game here with Tanner at first and an 0-1 count on Gordon with one out. Gordon takes that pitch outside for ball one. And Gordon takes that pitch on the outside corner for a 1-2 count. And swing and a miss there for Gordon. So that's going to be 2 outs for the Lady Gators. And that'll bring up leadoff hitter Sienna Lathrop. Lathrop is 0 for 2 today. She'll look to keep the rally going here for the Lady Gators. And Lathrop fouls the first pitch off. Swing and a miss there, so an 0-2 count on Lathrop. And Lathrop fouls that one off into the parking lot. It lands safely between all the vehicles. And still an 0-2 count here with 2 outs. And another foul ball there by Lathrop as she fights off. And again, just misses a car that's parked about 10 feet from the fence for some reason. So Wilhelmy has the call and readies. And Lathrop grinds that one up the middle. Again, Jacoby boots that. Tanner thinks about going to third, but she heads back to second. And the Gators have another base runner in scoring position here with Bria Wilcox up. So runners at first and second, 2 outs, and Bria Wilcox up. Wilcox is 0 for 2 today, but looking to help herself here as the first pitch gets over the catcher's head. Tanner is not going to advance, though. She'll head back to second with the 1-0 count. And swing and a miss there for strike one on Wilcox. So big at bat here for the Lady Gators. They've struggled to put the ball in play against Wilhelmy, and they have a runner in scoring position. And their number 2 hitter up. Wilcox takes a strike. 1-2 count. And strike 3 called. So Wilhelmy gets out of it with 1 run scored. And we're going to head to the bottom of the 5th with the score tied 1-1. We'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, so Risser's going to lead off here for the Lady Panthers. She is 1 for 2 today. She got on a bunt last at bat, and she takes ball 1 low. Swing and a miss there for strike 1. And that's going to be low for a 2-1 count. All 3 outside. And that pitch right down the middle to give him full count here on Risser. And a swing and a miss. So Wilcox gets the leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the 5th. And that'll bring up her counterpart, Wilhelmy. Wilhelmy is 0 for 2 today, although she did reach on an error. And she lines that one right back up to the middle. That's fielded by Emily Eric in center. So Wilhelmy will stop at first. The ball gets all the way past to the catcher, Eric. And Wilhelmy's going to be at second on the error by the Gators. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Hyde, with 1 out. Hyde has walked twice today. And takes strike 1 on the outside corner. And strike 2 is fouled off the backstop. So quick 0-2 count here on Hyde. And that pitch is popped high. Gordon's going to circle under it. She squeezes it for out number 2. And Wilhelmy will stay at second. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Kibbe. She is 0 for 2 today, but does have the go-ahead run in scoring position at second. And Kibbe fouls the first pitch out for strike 1. Ball 1's outside as Wilhelmy takes a big lead. And ball 2, Maddie Eric has to go out and get it. So 2-1 count here on Kibbe. And that pitch is also a bit outside, so a 3-1 count. And that's a foul ball by Kibbe. So full count now at 2 outs. Wilhelmy will be running on the pitch. Well, maybe not. Not a runner on first, so And strike three. So Wilcox again strands a runner. And we'll head to the top of the sixth with the score tied 1-1. Due up for the Lady Gators are McCurvey, Glasgow, and Evans. As dusk starts to settle in here in Harrison Valley. There are lights on the field, but I'm not sure if they work. Looks like we have a discussion going on here with Coach Thompson. And I think the decision's been made to turn the lights on. So as we wait for the lights, we'll be back in 60 seconds. Okay, so we ready here with McCurvey digging in to lead off against Willoughby. And a swing and a miss on the first pitch. We're going to proceed here without the lights apparently, although I can hear them buzzing and coming on. It's just happening slowly. That pitch is low. Steele scoops it up, but it's ball one. Swing and a miss for strike two. And ball two hits our camera, as you can see. And strike three call on the outside corner. So Willoughby gets the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Gianna. Gianna is 0 for 1 with a walk. As the Gators try to get another base runner. And ball one is low. Glasgow fouls that one off. 1-1 count. And a swing and a miss there for strike two. So 1-2 count here on Gianna. And a swing and a miss for strike three. So that'll be 2 outs for the Lady Gators, and Brent Evans will be up. Evans has struck out twice tonight. But as we know, could give the Gators the lead with one swing. Evans takes that pitch high and inside for ball one. Evans takes that strike. 1-1 count. And Evans lines that one down the right field line. It's going to be foul, though. So 1-2 count. Wouldn't be surprised to see a change up here from Wilhelmy. She looks in with a 1-2 count. And Evans takes strike three on the inside corner. So Wilhelmy strikes out the side again. And we'll head to the bottom of the sixth with the score still tied 1-1. And we'll be back in 60 seconds. So White will lead it off here for the Lady Panthers in the bottom of the sixth. She is 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. And takes the first pitch outside for ball one. And she fouls that one off. 1-1 count. Strike two called on the outside corner. And that one's lined to Gordon with a diving stab for out number one. Nice play by Peyton Gordon. And that'll bring up Jacoby. Jacoby has walked twice. Swing and a miss there for strike one. Ball one bounces in and bounces off the umpire, but he looks like he's okay. 1-1 count. That pitch is outside. 2-1 count. And ball 3. So once again, Jacoby's had a nice eye at the plate tonight, as she's walked twice and has worked a 3-1 count here in her third plate appearance. And takes ball 4 high. So once again, the Lady Panthers have a base runner on. And that'll bring up Knowles with 1 out. Knowles does not have an official at bat tonight. She's walked and sacrificed her last plate appearance. Knowles fouls that high pitch off, and that's going to be in the road and back off. And 0-1 count. And another high pitch as she pops to short. Glasgow with a nice play. She fires it over to Gordon, but Kibbe is able to get back. Sorry, that was Jacoby at first, not Kibbe. So 2 outs here for the Lady Gators. And Prince is going to be up as the Gators are going to call time, as Coach Wilcox is going to go out to have a discussion. And Jacoby's going to run over to talk to Coach Coburn at third. Coach Coburn, one of the few coaches still in the league that's old school with the signs in the box versus the number call-outs that most of the new school coaches are using. So he's discussing the situation over there with Jacoby and Prince. And the Lady Gators are trying to find a way to get out of this inning with the score still tied. So they're ready to go. And the umpires are ready to go. We're just waiting for Jacoby to return to first and Maddie Eric to return to the plate. And Prince will step in. Prince is over 2 today with 2 strikeouts. And that pitch is a bit high and outside as Jacoby hops back to first. Jeez. That pitch is fouled right back at us. 1-1 count. And swing and a miss for strike 2 as Jacoby takes a big lead, but she's going to jog back. Prince looks down at Coach Coburn for the signs. She's going to square to bunt, and she's going to bunt it foul with 2 strikes. That's going to be the 3rd out of the inning. I'm not sure if she missed the sign, but Coach Coburn looks a little frustrated over there in the third base coach's box as the team swap. And we'll head to the top of the 7th, tied 1-1. We'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, Maddie Eric is going to lead it off here for the Lady Gators in the top of the 7th. She has been on base twice, reached on an error last, and was hit by a pitch her first plate appearance. And she's going to hit the first ball foul down the right field line, as that bounces off the concession stand and rolls across Route 49. And Eric grounds that one past the third baseman. And Maddie Eric with the first hit of the night for the Lady Gators. As I'm sure we're going to have another courtesy runner here as she limped down to first. She talks Coach Barnett into leaving her in the game. However, Coach Wilcox is going to overrule both of them, and we're going to have a courtesy runner. And that'll bring Darush back in. And Emily Eric will be up once again with a leadoff hitter on. She squares to bunt. That one goes way foul. Back past the Porta-John. And 0-1 count here. So Prince again sneaking in from third as Eric squares the bunt. And another foul ball. So an 0-2 count here as Darush heads back to first. And Eric will have to dig in. I don't think she'll make the same mistake as the Panthers made last inning and attempt a bunt with 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss on the high pitch. Darush is stranded. That throw gets past the first baseman, but Darush is going to stay at first. And so 1 out here as Alyssa Tanner will be up for the Lady Gators. Tanner reached on an error last at bat and also walked today. As she digs in with 1 out. First pitch is inside. Throw again down, gets past the first baseman. Darush is getting different direction, so she stays at first. A 1-0 count here on Tanner. Swing and a miss there. 1-1 count. That pitch is outside. Darush with another big jump, but the ball's back to Willoughby, and a 2-1 count. Swing and a miss there. 2-2 count as Darush tries to draw a throw, but Steele gets it back to the pitcher. 2-2 count here with 1 out. And a swing and a miss for the second out. So that'll bring up Peyton Gordon with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Gordon squares the bunt. She gets that one down to third base. That's fumbled by the third baseman. And the throw does get her as the Panthers throw the ball around. But there's 3 outs. So we'll head to the bottom of the 7th, tied 1-1. We'll be back in 60 seconds. So as we ready for the bottom of the 7th here, we've got a short timeout while the umpires try to get a car's headlights off. Although the driver may have just thought we needed some extra light on the field, as we've got a couple of light bulbs out on the lights that are currently here. And the umpires are now ready, and we'll have the top of the lineup here for the Lady Panthers as Lily Steele digs in, still wearing her sunglasses. She thinks the lights are bright enough, I guess. Steele is 1 for 3 today as she takes a ball on the first pitch. And ball 2 is outside. Swing and a miss there for Steele. 2-1 count. And another swing and a miss. 2-2 count. And Steele fouls that one off to stay alive. And that pitch is outside, so a full count here on the leadoff hitter. And Steele grounds that one to second. A big hop to O'Rourke, who fires it over Gordon's head. Gordon tracks the ball down, but Steele is going to be on as the leadoff hitter. And the Lady Panthers will bring Kibbe up. My apologies. Risser is up, not Steele. Risser is 1 for 3 tonight. She tries to bunt, and it contacts her in the batter's box, so we got a foul ball and strike 1. So the Lady Panthers have the leadoff runner on an error, and they're trying to move her over here. Although Risser with a half swing there for a strike. And Eric's throw was a little high as Steele's going to steal second. So we now have the winning run in scoring position. And an 0-2 count. That pitch is high. Steele takes a big lead at second, but she's going to head back. 1-2 count here on Risser. And that ball's grounded back to the middle. O'Rourke fires that one over Gordon's head. And Steele's going to come home with a winning run. So for the second time in 2 weeks, the Lady Gators are going to drop a 1-run game to the league-leading Lady Panthers. 2-1 tonight as the Lady Panthers walk it off in the bottom of the 7th. We'll be back on Wednesday as the Lady Gators will finish out the regular season hosting Kane at 4:30. And we'll see you then. Good night.